Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I just wanted to kind of chit chat about some palettes that have launched this year that I thought about buying, but I didn't end up buying. I thought it would be fun to kind of chit chat about them, get your opinions on them, explain maybe why I didn't pick them up. Maybe I'm still itching to pick them up. We're gonna chat about it together. Before we get into it, I did of course film this look. It's from a members only video, and if you want to check it out, you can sign up through the link in my description box to join the membership. You'll get fun little perks, including a members only get ready with me once a month. And as far as my accessories go, I don't know where anything's from, unfortunately. It's just a basic old choker, and I can't remember where I got these earrings from. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in and chat about some palettes that I almost bought. Let me do a little scooch so I have room for some pictures. Let me go to my saved folder on Instagram. Anytime I just run across a palette when I'm scrolling that I'm like, I kind of want that, I immediately save it. And then if I end up buying it, I take it off, obviously. First up, this is from Bella Beauty Bar. I love Bella Beauty Bar. They are phenomenal. I feel like their matte game has been stepped up so much and their shimmers are insane. I am really into them. And I really thought about buying this one at the beginning of the year. This launched at the end of January. It's the Star-Crossed Lovers palette. I very much get into the Valentine's vibes. I love pink, red, purple together. Loved the look of these shimmers. I thought they were really pretty. I don't remember why exactly I decided not to pick this one up. It just ended up not being something that I felt like I absolutely had to have in the moment. So I decided just to admire this one from afar, but I do still think it's really pretty. I don't know if it's available anymore, but it was really pretty and I feel like I would have enjoyed it, but I'm also okay not having it, if that makes sense. Plus, I also don't know if this is their better matte formula because they started reformulating their mattes to be even better. So I also wouldn't want this now if it's not the same matte quality that they currently have, if that makes sense. Next up, this is from Adept. I'm pretty sure this limited edition palette didn't really have a name. It was just an arrow symbol. I don't really understand the reasoning or why. I'm sure somebody does it. I'm sure somebody will tell me. But I did think this was really, really pretty regardless. I love the tones of these mattes, the different yellowy, tealy greens, and all of these shimmers are mouth watering. They're so pretty. I ended up talking myself out of this one. I was like, I don't need it. I think at this time I maybe was busy with other things or was interested in other things. So I ended up passing on this one. It was limited edition, so I don't even know if it's available now. But it is gorgeous, but it's gorgeous from afar. All right, this next one. This happens every time with Beauty Bay. So I fell in love with the Wilderness and Age of Opulence palettes last year. And ever since then, I got interested in trying more palettes from Beauty Bay. I've since tried the Midnights and the Earthy, and those formulas are amazing. And every time they come out with a new palette, I'm like, ooh, maybe I should get that because I really like the formula. But then I stare at it long enough and I'm like, no, I don't need this one. And that's what happened with this one. This is the Retro Love. I got sucked into just the idea of it and the fact that it was another Beauty Bay palette, but for the most part, I don't love it. I feel like it's an odd color story, honestly. I don't need those neutrals that are sprinkled in, and I feel like the dark shades are brown, which I don't appreciate. I don't want dark browns with pastels. It's just not my vibe. I'm glad I looked at this one long enough to realize I didn't actually want this, but for a split second, I almost bought it just because I really do enjoy Beauty Bay's formula. Ooh, I forgot about these. These are from Moira Cosmetics. These were from the Moira Land collection. It was two palettes themed around carnival fair, kind of situation. One of the palettes is Fun is in the Air, one is Magic Dreaming. I just loved the idea of these together. I thought it was a fun concept, you're buying a little ticket and going to the fair. I thought it was cute. I like the colors in here. I like the artwork, but I'd never tried this brand before. Not to say they're bad, and they were pretty affordable. The two palettes together were $35. But I don't know. I guess I liked the theming and I liked the idea of it, but at the time I just wasn't interested in trying something brand new in the moment. So I ended up letting these ones go. I was like, these ones are cute, but I don't think I personally need them. I haven't tried anything from this brand before. I hear really good things about their blushes, but I would love to know if you love this brand and what you love from them. Okay, this one I know exactly why I almost bought it. I wanted this whole collection just because of the In a Lavender Haze tagline in the middle. Taylor Swift bells started ringing. I was like, I need this. This is the Taylor Swift Lavender Haze collection. But then I was like, okay, Betty Jean, you don't actually need this. I do love lavender. I love purples, especially when this one came out. It was middle of spring. I was very much in a lavender moment then. but I didn't need it. I do still think it's really cute. I wouldn't be mad to have it. I think the shimmers in this palette are really pretty. I like that it gets pretty deep and it's just so cool toned. It's so pretty, but ultimately decided, Betty Jean, you do not need another monochromatic palette from ColourPop. That's one of the things you criticize about ColourPop, so decided to take a step back, not pick this one up. I do still think that highlighter and those lip glosses are really pretty though, but overall I think it was just the image of this spoke to my soul, but I didn't actually need the products. Sometimes it's just enough to look at it and think it's pretty, you know? You don't have to own everything you think is pretty. Oh, this next one. This one might be my favorite one out of all the ones I'm gonna talk about today. This is from the brand Ensley Rain. This is the Flower Moon palette. It is beautiful. I have been itching to try this brand, haven't tried them yet, but their stuff looks so good and this palette is so appealing. I love those dingy but bright mattes on the bottom. I like that they're kind of like different, like olivey, yellowy, orange, pink. It's just really appealing. I really like that combination together. And then all of these shimmers are so magical. They look so pretty. I have been fascinated with this brand for a while. I'm just waiting for the right thing to stand out to buy it. I don't know what's stopping me. I feel like sometimes I do just get nervous about trying a new brand because like, what if I spend all this money and then don't like it? Like, it's a gamble. And I already have so much makeup to play with at all times. But this one did really speak to me. I do think it's gorgeous. Maybe I'll pick it up one day. Maybe I'll just admire it from afar and keep an eye out for future launches from this brand. We shall see. Okay, this next one, I was only interested in this for like 2 seconds. This is from Kimchi Chic Beauty, the Cherry Chic palette. First things first, usually I don't really like any of the palettes this brand comes out with. I think they're always a little too much, a little just not my vibe, a little on the ugly side for my personal taste. This one aesthetically, I liked it much more than anything else this brand has done as far as eyeshadow palettes go. But then I looked at it more and I was like, this kind of just looks like cheap, no-name brand makeup. Like just the way the packaging looks and the way the shadows are set up. And it looks like there's pressed glitters in there. I could be wrong, but they look like glitters and that's not my favorite thing to have in a palette. I feel like the packaging just looks so cheap, which I know is just such a basic complaint, but overall, I just decided like, I don't think I like this. I just think it's the best thing I've seen so far, if that makes sense, which isn't necessarily saying much, unfortunately. But I do still want to try the like highlighters, blushes, bronzers. They look really cute from this brand. I like the little packaging that they come in, but I'm just waiting for the perfect release, you know? I'm just not into it yet. Next up, this is from Clarity Cosmetics, another one of those brands that I've been wanting to try. I just haven't bit the bullet yet. I don't know what it is. Again, it's just trying a new brand. Sometimes I get anxiety about trying a new thing because like, what if I hate it? And I hear such polarizing things about this brand. People seem to either love them or hate them. There's like no in between. So it makes me a little bit nervous, but this is the Apocalypse palette. This is by far my favorite one they've ever done. It looks so pretty. I love those dingy, grungy, dark tones paired with these really pretty shimmers. I think they look really, really cool. It's a really unique, interesting color story. I haven't seen anything else quite like this, so definitely piqued my interest. I just didn't know if I wanted to spend $63 on it, especially if I'm not sure if I would like the brand or not, so I don't know. I'm still keeping them on my radar. I'm just nervous about trying them out for the first time, but maybe one day. Okay, next up, this was from the BFF collab collection between Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles. The palette in this collection is really, really cool. And even though I'm not typically a neutral kind of girl, this palette is gorgeous. I love the rich plummy tones with the antique-y mustardy golds. There's just such a good mixture in here. I love the look of all these shimmers. And again, even though I'm not a neutral person, sometimes palettes like this really speak to me if they do something special with it or give it a little bit of a twist. And I do really like the Lunar Beauty formula, which I guess I don't know which formula is this. Was this Lunar Beauty's formula? Was this Laura Lee's formula? I don't know. I actually haven't even watched any videos on anyone playing with this collection, so I have zero thoughts. It looks more like the Lunar Beauty format as far as the packaging goes, so I'm assuming it's Lunar Beauty's formulas with like Laura Lee's mind helping to create it. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments, but it's really pretty. I ended up deciding I didn't need it. I knew I probably wasn't going to use it like long term. I would use it for a little while and then maybe get sick of it, but I do still really like this one. Honestly, this is probably my second favorite out of all the ones I'm going to talk about today, just because I think it's aesthetically really, really pretty, and I already know how much I like this formula. And let's end it on this one. This is from Glamlight. This is the Rick and Morty collection. I have zero attachment to Rick and Morty. I think I've only seen one, maybe 2 episodes of it in my life. I didn't hate it, but I'm just not obsessed with it. I do kind of hate the way their pupils look because they're like the squiggly little balls. It kind of bothers me. Don't know why. But I thought this palette was really cool. Before it was like with this tealy filter is kind of what they shared, but then they later shared like obviously the picture that's on the screen now. And it still looks really cool, but I think what I like about this palette is just those 8 shades in the middle, those like bluey greens that are super bright and kind of electric looking. I do like those bright pinks on top of it as well. But overall, it's just not something I need. It's pretty large. I don't prefer large palettes, and this one is quite big. It's what, like a solid 30 pan palette, and none of these are shades that are particularly unique to my collection. I do love those brights in the middle, but for the most part, I just don't think I really would have wanted to reach for this one more than just doing a singular video with it, and then I probably would have been done with it. So I was like, let me not spend the money on that because I don't really need it. You know, I can appreciate the aesthetic of the picture and not need to own it for myself. So yeah, these are all the palettes so far this year. I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff because there's always so many launches, but the palettes that I remembered to save at least so far this year that I thought about buying, didn't actually end up buying. So I would love to hear your thoughts on these. Did you pick any of these up yourself? Do you want any of them? I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm not necessarily gonna buy any of these, but a couple of these are still sitting in my noggin. Maybe I will pick them up one day, maybe not. Maybe I'll just wait until other things release from these particular brands. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave a fruit emoji. I don't know why. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I'm battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I'm posting most days here as well. And like I said in the beginning, feel free to join my channel memberships. The link to sign up will be down below. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.